Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Come to Listen podcast. I wanted to take a moment to sit down with you, reconnect, and get a lay of the land of where we are and what things will look like going forward. We've put out 10, 15 episodes at this point of the Come to Listen podcast, and I'm very grateful for what this opportunity has been so far. Thank you to each of you who have tuned in to one or many of these episodes, and a special thanks to all of the guests that have come on for these episodes. These conversations have been rewarding and meaningful and eye-opening and inspiring, and I hope that they've had something akin to that for you as well. And hopefully this episode has something similar. Like I said, my intention here is to talk with you about what's been going on in my life, building Metamorphic Synergies, other pieces moving around that, and then also hopefully to glean some threads for that for more general application as well. Now, as far as what's been going on for me, so there's definitely been some updates. As far as Metamorphic Synergies, the Come to Listen podcast, all of that, this will continue on. We'll continue having these amazing podcast conversations with inspiring and empowering individuals. These can be people who talk about faith, their relationship with God, a higher spirit, a calling that speaks within them, the broader sense of that term, or the more direct sense of God. I'm looking forward to those conversations. And then health, right? So whether that's exercise, nutrition, sleep, time outside, stress, mental health, physical health, spiritual, emotional health, there's so many elements to health, and I look forward to continuing to bring experts to this conversation and to be able to share those moments with you as well, and share those insights and just provide value there. Nature, time outside, the beauty of nature, regenerative agriculture, conservationists. I look forward to talking with experts as well as sharing some of my own insights about what we're really doing here and why it's so important to not only sustain our environment, but cultivate and regenerate our environment. It literally is us, and I look forward to all of that. And then, of course, community, one of those other 4 pillars that I laid out when we started all of this. Community it's the fiber that weaves everything together. It's the connection between me and you through this camera and microphone. It's the connection to the people that we get to sit down with here. It's the connections that I have in my own life, family, friends, colleagues, etc., and all the connections that you have in your own life. Community is so vital, so important, and often overlooked, and I look forward to continuing to highlight the value in that. So I hope you're going to enjoy the Come to Listen podcast and what is to come therein. In addition to that, under the overall umbrella of Metamorphic Synergies, I'm working on a book. It's a book about healthy living, and I think you're going to love it. It's going to be short and sweet, maybe about 100 pages or so. It's near finished, actually. I have a first draft that I'll be sending out to friends and family and close individuals to get their feedback. If you're watching this and you would love to chip in on that V1 iteration, then feel free to reach out to me and we can talk. I'll get a copy in your hands, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And that's the vision for Metamorphic Synergies as of now in the medium term. As far as what it can look like in the long term, in terms of retreats, healthy living workshops, all of those amazing endeavors, there's so much more that can come from that. And really my main focus with it is to provide as much value as possible to help you improve your life. That's the whole goal. And in a sense, it's almost kind of my journal, my ability to work through ideas in my own life of what's really been providing value for me, for living my best life, and to share those threads along the way. And I think that there's a lot of value that can be gleaned from our own personal stories, and I hope you'll find some in that. Now that's Metamorphic Synergies as a whole. Now, of course, you all know we're complex individuals, right? And so many of you may know this if you know me personally. I have as much of a background in business and leadership as I do in health and wellness, probably even more so on the technical business side. I studied finance and accounting and economics in undergrad at CU Boulder. I held various positions along my way through that, spent 2 years in the IT side of corporate accounting with Deloitte, a time that I'm very grateful for, and I am so grateful for the team members from that time. If one of you are watching this, thank you so much for your mentorship and your expertise. And then I just kind of got burned out with the corporate environment. I found that I didn't feel like I was building something that I directly had strategic insight over. I felt like I was just a cog in a machine, and it was something that didn't work for me. And so I left that and then entered the health and wellness field, and that's when Metamorphic Synergies started. Amanda Joy and I, my wife, we met around then, and we have been on an amazing journey with this health and wellness business. Many of you know that my mother actually passed from pancreatic cancer along that journey, and that was a hard time, and that caused a lot of revisiting and some pivoting that was involved in that moment, where we still kept Metamorphic Synergies going, but kind of put it on the back burner. And then I started working in some small businesses, franchise model businesses in the health and wellness space. And so that was Restore, which had IVs and cryotherapy and infrared saunas and hyperbaric oxygen, so much innovative wellness learning that went on there, as well as business leadership and understanding how a small business really works. And then I went on to work at Stretch Lab as well and applied a lot of those same skills, learning both the tactical health and wellness aspects, the tangible pieces, but then more the strategic business insights. And along the way, I've continued to carry my expertise from CU and Deloitte kind of through those roles as well. And now there's a new role that has opened up, and there's a new chapter in my life. A colleague of mine from my undergrad years, Ranger Woodland, started a consulting company about a year ago called Analyst House. And just in the last week or so, I mean, depending on when this comes out, maybe a little later than that, I've joined the team at Analyst House. And so what we do is essentially technical accounting, systems, and finance work for small to medium businesses, primarily focusing with startups and mission-driven businesses. My whole focus is to bring a lot of my small business expertise, my technical accounting and IT systems expertise, and my focus on mission-driven businesses to really help grow the business and the team over time. And I'm really looking forward to it. So far, it's been a great endeavor. And like I'd mentioned, we're all complex individuals that have twists and turns in our life, and this is one that feels like a really good step. So I'm looking forward to it. I wanted to share that with you to let you know that I'm definitely going to be communicating about what's going on in Analyst House on these channels, so you'll see some of that content coming through. And in addition to that, I'll continue with Metamorphic Synergies and the Come to Listen podcast and the understanding that health and wellness is so important. And I think one of the really unique value pieces of what we'll be talking about here is what it looks like to focus on your own health, wellness, and quality of life while you're still doing your normal day-to-day work. I've always gotten so much value from listening to those mentors over the years through the various media who work really hard in what they do and then still can communicate lessons gleaned about how to live a healthy lifestyle within that. In addition, like I mentioned about this being sort of the sandbox for figuring these things out, like I can communicate to you about what I'm doing for my health and wellness outside of my work week and in tandem with my own passion projects. And hopefully that translates better to your life because you have family going on. You've got friends. You've maybe got some emotional or relational challenges happening in your life. Maybe you have some career pivots going on and you still have passion projects where you just want to bring some value to the world. I'm hoping that my unique N of one story can contribute to some individual on the other side of this who just needs to know that it's okay if it looks a little messy because you're building something amazing and it's supposed to feel like art. So that's all I wanted to drop in for today. I wanted to keep it short and sweet and just kind of give you an idea where things are at. Like I'd mentioned, this is an iterative process. Who knows, a year from now, I might be sitting down and having a similar conversation with you. But I think you're going to love the upcoming guests on the podcast. I think you're going to love the business, the technical side of it, the strategic leadership piece, as well as the health and wellness and quality of life elements that are going to come through. I hope you have a blessed, wonderful, amazing day. I hope that you learn something new, meet someone new, and connect with someone you love. God bless you.